Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are diving into the exciting world of Web3 and blockchain technology. You've probably heard these terms thrown around a lot lately, but what exactly do they mean and why should you care? Stick around and I'll break it down for you. What is blockchain? Imagine a digital ledger that records transactions across a decentralized network. Each transaction is stored in a block and linked together in a chain, hence the name blockchain. But how does it work and why is it so revolutionary? Let's find out. Blockchain technology is a distributed ledger system that enables secure and transparent transactions across a network of computers. The core principles of blockchain include decentralization, transparency, and security. Now that we understand the concept of blockchain, let's take a closer look at how it works. We'll explore the process of creating and validating blocks, the role of miners and nodes, and the importance of consensus mechanism. Centralized system, all our digital information like bank account details or government record is kept in one place, controlled by a single authority like a bank or a government agency. This setup has its flaws. If that single authority fails or is attacked, all our data could be compromised, leading to issues like hacking or manipulation. Now, picture a new way of managing data where there is no single authority in charge. Instead, the information is spread out across many computers called nodes, all working together. That is what we call decentralization, and it's the core idea behind blockchain technology. So, how does it work? Well, let's imagine we're making a digital record of a transaction, like buying a coffee, for example. Instead of one central record keeper, copies of this transaction are sent to lots of computers in a network known as nodes. Each node checks that the transaction is valid and makes sure the transaction hasn't happened twice. Once everyone agrees it's legit, the transaction is bundled together with others into a block. Here is where miners come in. There are special nodes that work hard to solve complex math problems, essentially sealing the block with cryptographic lock. This process ensures the blocks can't be changed or tampered with later on. Once the block is sealed, it's added to the chain of blocks that came before it, forming a blockchain. But how do all the nodes agree on which transactions are valid and in what order they should go? That's where consensus mechanisms comes in. These are like rules that everyone in the network follows to make sure everyone's on the same page. There are different types of consensus mechanisms like proof of work or proof of stake, but they all aim to keep the network honest and secure. So, in a nutshell, blockchain technology decentralizes control over our data, making it more secure and trustworthy. It's like a digital giant ledger that everyone can see and trust without the need for a middleman. Web3 represents the next phase of the internet, where users have more control over their digital lives. But what exactly is Web3 and why is it such a game changer? Web3 an internet where you have more control over your stuff online, like your photos or documents, and you can interact with others without a middleman, like a big company. And that's what Web3 is all about, giving power back to the people. So, how does it work? Well, Web3 uses some fancy technology to make it happen. First up, there's blockchain. Think of it as a super secure digital ledger where all transactions are recorded. It's like a big, transparent record book that everyone can see and trust. Then there's decentralized storage. Instead of keeping your files on one big server owned by a company, decentralized storage spread them out across lots of computers. This makes it harder for hackers to mess with your stuff and give you more control over who can access it. Last but not the least, we've got smart contracts. These are like digital agreements that automatically execute when certain conditions are met. For example, if you buy something online, the smart contract will release the payment to the seller once you receive an item, all without needing a middleman to oversee the transaction. So, when we put it all together, Web3 is about making the internet more open, secure, and transparent. It's like giving everyone their digital superpowers, making the online world a fairer place for everyone. Decentralization, interoperability, and self-sovereign identity are just a few of the key concepts driving Web3 forward. But what do all this mean and why should you care? Imagine if instead one big boss is controlling everything. Power and control were spread out among lots of people. That's decentralization. It's like everyone having a say in how things work instead of just one person or group. Think of interoperability as different language being able to understand each other. In the digital world, it means that different systems and programs can talk to each other and share information easily. Picture having your digital ID card that you can control instead of one that's owned by a company or the government. That's self-sovereign identity. You're in charge of your own identity and personal information. Now, let's talk about why Web3 is so awesome. Web3 makes everything super transparent by keeping a record of all transactions that everyone can see. It's like having a window into how everything works online. With Web3, you have more control over who sees your stuff online. You can choose who gets access to your data and even interact with others without revealing your identity if you want. In Web3, no one can stop you from saying or doing what you want online. It's like having free speech superpowers. You can't be censored or silenced by anyone. And finally, let's address some common worries people have about Web3. Some people worry that Web3 won't be able to handle lots of users and transactions. But don't worry, developers are working hard to make sure Web3 can handle whatever we throw at it. Critics say that all computing power needed for Web3 is bad for the environment, but there are lots of projects working on making Web3 more energy efficient, so it's not as big of a problem as it seems. Government and regulators are still figuring out how to deal with Web3, which can be a bit of a headache. But as the technology evolves, we'll find ways to work together and make sure everyone plays by the rules. So it's all about giving power back to the people, making the internet more transparent and private, and ensuring that everyone has a say in how things work online. Understand the fundamental of Web3 and blockchain. Let's take a look at some of the real-world applications. From finance to healthcare to supply chain management, the possibilities are endless. Imagine being able to borrow or lend money without a bank. That's what DeFi platforms do. They use blockchain technology to make financial transactions more transparent and accessible to anyone. NFTs. NFTs are like digital collectibles that you can buy, sell, and trade using blockchain technology. They've become really popular in the art world, with people buying and selling digital artwork for millions of dollars. Centralized identity system use blockchain technology to give you more control over your personal information. Platforms like Farcaster are creating social networks that give users more access over their data and privacy. Blockchain can keep medical records safe and secure, making it sure for doctors to access your information when needed. Blockchain technology can also make voting more secure and transparent, ensuring that elections are fair and free from tampering. This example shows how Web3 and blockchain technology are changing the world, empowering individuals and revolutionizing industries in ways we never thought possible. Web3 and blockchain technology are important because they have the potential to democratize access to digital resources, enhance privacy and security, and promote innovation and economic inclusion. Web3 and blockchain technologies have the potential to disrupt existing industry by eliminating intermediaries, reducing costs, and increasing efficiency. They also create new economic opportunities by enabling new business models, facilitating peer-to-peer transactions, and unlocking value in previously untapped markets. Understanding and participating in Web3 ecosystem is important for individuals and businesses alike because it allows them to take control of their digital assets, access new sources of value, and participate in the next evolution of the internet. By embracing Web3 and blockchain technology, individuals and businesses can position themselves for success in an increasingly decentralized and interconnected world. And there you have it, a crash course in Web3 and blockchain technology. We've ground today, but this is just the beginning of your journey. So be sure to like, share, and follow for more content on Web3 and blockchain. And thank you. See you. Bye.